That's working off this land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Play the music. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna get started here in a few minutes. Give another what? 5 minutes, 2 minutes? Yeah, 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. Been 15 minutes now. You want to start that song? Okay. Yeah. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters all over the world. I'm Yahweh to be in Israel. I'm a Hebrew servant from the Most High Yahweh. I came to earth to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by saying hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. And Shabbat Shalom to all my brothers and sisters out there. Now, today's topic is dealing with Joseph. Joseph was one of the 12 tribes of Israel, one of Jacob's sons. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, one of Israel's sons. So with all that, I'm going to get started. We're going to start off in the book of Genesis, the 39th chapter, the first verse.
Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
Now Joseph's brothers sold him to the Ishmaelites, and the Ishmaelites sold him to Potiphar.
And Yahweh was with Joseph.
And Yahweh was with Joseph. He was never with nobody in the New Testament at all. Read.
And he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yahweh was with him.
Now the Egyptian saw that Yahweh was with him.
And that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Whatever Joseph did, it prospered. It didn't backfire. It didn't fail because Yahweh was with him. Read.
And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand.
He put it to his hand.
And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake.
See, the Almighty will bless a house for a true Hebrew's sake. If a true Hebrew is keeping all the laws and statutes, judgment, commandment, and precept, The Almighty will bless your house. Just like if you got one person in your family keeping the law of the statutes, that he's filling the gap. The Almighty is protecting the wicked person that's in your family for the righteous man. Read.
And the blessing of Yahweh was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not all he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored.
And he was good. What verse you at?
Verse 7 now.
Okay.
And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me.
Now this man's wife trying to lie with Joseph. Now we'll see what happened.
But he refused.
Joseph refused
and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wanted not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand.
He have gave me control of everything in the house. That's what Joseph telling this wicked woman.
There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Elohim?
See, Joseph had plenty of sense at this time. And see, if this had been a Christian man or a Messianic man, they would have had sex with anyway because they're a corner-minded man. The Messianics and Christians are corner-minded people. They're not spiritual people. No, they'll do anything in the dark, behind your back, but they wicked. Read.
And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day.
Every day this woman trying to get Joseph some sex, and he ain't studying. But the Christians and Messianic men would have been studying. Read. Shalom, Hebrew.
That he hearkened not unto her.
He didn't listen to none she had to say.
To lie by her, or to be with her.
And the reason why he was like that, because he loved Yahweh and he loved the laws. See, when you love Yahweh and love his laws, you ain't going to do no anything. You is not going to do no anything when you love Yah and keep all his laws. You're going to be a spiritual minded man, like Joseph was. He wasn't studying. Read.
And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within.
Now ain't nobody in the house but Joseph.
And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me.
Yeah, this wicked Egyptian woman wanted Joseph to have sex with her, but he wouldn't because he loved Yahweh and kept them laws. Read.
And he left his garment in her hand and fled.
He ran away from her, left his clothes and ran away from her.
And got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice.
In other words, she lied on Joseph and told the men of the house that he tried to rape her, and we know that's a lie. Because we reading the book. We know she lied. Read.
And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me.
This wicked Egyptian woman telling lies. Read.
And fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home, till his Lord came home.
Now that's supposed to be her proof because she got his pants in her hand that he was there with her. But see, this woman is a cunning woman. Read.
And she laid up his garment by her until, verse 17, and she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me.
That's a lie. She telling a lie.
And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled.
Now he was angry when she lied on and said this. Read.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison.
Now Joseph went to prison for something that he didn't do. He didn't do nothing, but he had went to prison. But now check it out. Read.
A place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. And but Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy.
Now that's right. Yahweh gonna be with you, whether you in penitentiary or on the streets or wherever you at. The Almighty Yahweh gonna be with you. Read.
And gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
Right.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it.
Hmm.
And the keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper.
Yahweh made this man to prosper, even though he was in prison for something he didn't do. Don't worry about it. The Almighty Yahweh gonna take care of you. Read.
Chapter 40, verse 1. Genesis chapter 40, verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound.
Now these two guys is in the same prison with Joseph at. Read.
And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them,
They had a dream.
each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to Elohim? Tell me them, I pray you.
That Joseph was the only one at this time that can interpret dreams. Nobody in Egypt. Nobody but him. Read.
And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine there were three branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is their interpretation of it. The three branches are 3 days, yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee into thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee,
Yeah. Okay. Read.
and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house.
You look out for me. I'm gonna look out for you. You look out for me.
For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, and he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had three white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is their interpretation thereof. The three baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the third day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants.
So everything that Joseph interpreted these guys' dreams came true, came to pass. Read.
And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand, but he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them.
That's right.
Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him.
See, it was a dirty, rotten dude here. Now Joseph told him, interpreted his dream, everything, but he didn't mention none to the king about Joseph. He just turned his back on him, went on his way. But that's how people do now. Read.
Genesis chapter 41, verse 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 well favored kine and fat flesh, and they fed in a meadow, and behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill favored and lean flesh, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill favored and lean flesh kine did eat up the 7 well favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good, and behold, 7 thin ears and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them, and 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears, and Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant of the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. Each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they put him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his garment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it.
Now, out of all these people, all these Egyptians and all these people in this world back then, could nobody interpret a dream but a Hebrew, and that was Joseph. This cold blooded here. Read.
And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. Elohim shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
He gave the Almighty Yahweh the credit. He never took the credit. He never was braggadocious on this. He gave all the credit to Yahweh. Read.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river.
What verse read?
Verse 18. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat flesh and well favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill favored and lean flesh, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kind did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, and one stalk full and good, and behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blessed with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me.
Did nobody know the answer? Read.
And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. Elohim have showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blessed with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Elohim is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by Elohim, and Elohim will surely bring it to pass.
That's right.
Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt.
Now at this time, the Pharaoh need to find a righteous man.
Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities, and that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the spirit of Elohim is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as Elohim have showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only
Right. Now he put Joseph the Hebrew over everybody. Now he took a Hebrew, a poor Hebrew, and put him over all his house, over the Egyptian's house, because he can interpret the dreams, because nobody in the world at that time do that but Joseph. Read, there's corn here.
only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
That's right.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
And now, can you imagine somebody putting you all over the United States? You being the king of the United States now, like the vice president of the United States. He was the vice president of Egypt, and you know how big Egypt is. Read.
And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen.
See, that's what we got wearing gold from Joseph, because Joseph was the first one to put the gold on, put the bling bling on. Joseph was. Read.
And put a gold chain about his neck.
Put a gold chain, the bling bling on, and had the diamond ring on. That's when our people love gold. You know, this right here was started over Joseph. Read.
And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had.
He had a Bentley now. He had a Maserati. He riding high.
And they cried before him, bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
He made Joseph ruler over all of Egypt, not half of Egypt, not most of all of Egypt.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand.
And in other words, everybody got to see Joseph. Everybody, when you get to the town, you got to see Joseph. Read.
Or foot in all the land of Egypt.
That's right.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath-paneah.
Now he changed his name to Zaphenath-paneah. Now the Gentiles gonna do that. Now they gonna change your name. Oh, they gonna do that. That's what they do. They good at that. They gonna change your name. His name was Zaphenath-paneah. Read.
And he gave him to wife Asnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On.
And he gave him a wife.
And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt.
And he went out on the town.
And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
He was a young man, one but 30 years old, had all this power. Can you imagine somebody giving you all this power at 30 years old and you bling bling? Boy, this is a blessing from the Most High Yah. See, when you're righteous in the eyes of Yah, this is what he do for you. Hey, he took a man that didn't have none and gave it all to him. Read.
And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
That's right.
And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asnath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for he said, for Elohim said he, hath he made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for Elohim have caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Now, this Joseph in the Old Testament, he only had 2 sons. They say that Joseph in the New Testament was JC's son. That's a lie. So this is 2 different Josephs. This Joseph only had 2 sons, and now one of them name was JC. So they can't be talking about this Joseph here. Read.
And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said, and the dearth was in all lands, but in the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread.
Everybody hungry now because ain't no food. Read.
And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what saith to you, do. And what he said to you, do.
Go to my right hand man Joseph, and what these Egyptians he talking about, he telling his people to go to a Hebrew, and whatever he say, that's what it is. If he give you 1 stalk of corn, that's what you're gonna get. I don't care whatever. He gave all the power to Joseph. Read.
And the famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt.
He sold to them people. He didn't give them nothing. He sold it to them. Read.
And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn.
All countries, because at that time, Egypt and Joseph in Egypt, the only one had it going on. They were the baddest people at that time in that land. Read.
Because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
In all lands. So that means the whole world at that time had to come see Joseph. He was a bad man at that time, boy. And that's the Most High for you. He'll look out for you. Read.
Genesis chapter 42, verse 1. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt.
Now Jacob is his father. Jacob is Joseph's father. Read.
Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another?
Why y'all look crazy at one of each other?
And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die.
Go to Egypt and buy some corn, because that's the only place in the world they got corn that we can eat, and so we can live.
And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land.
Yeah, that's right. He was the vice president over the land, the baddest man in the land. Read.
And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
Because his brother's the one played the game with him. That's how he got here, through his brother playing the game with him. It's going to tell you. I ain't going to talk about it. I'm going to read about it. Read.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made him so strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food.
Yeah, Joseph knew them, but they didn't know him because he was looking like an Egyptian. He wasn't looking like no Hebrew. He had Egyptian clothes on. He had a smooth face. He didn't have no hair on it. Because they believe in shaving they off all their hair. He probably was bald headed. Who knows? But he didn't look like no Hebrew. He looked like an Egyptian, and they didn't know him. Read.
And Joseph knew his brethren,
They knew it. That's right.
but they knew not him.
They didn't know him because he was looking like an Egyptian. He wasn't looking like no Hebrew. Read.
And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come.
Now he putting it back on them now. The same thing they did to him. He playing the game with him, boy. He putting it back on them. Read.
And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come.
We only came to buy food, brother. We didn't come to do nothing else. We only came because we starved. Read.
We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come.
Well, he playing a game with them, boy. He said, yeah, right.
And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh, ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother. Ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved.
And you got to prove to me that you ain't lying.
Whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into war 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear Elohim. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses, but bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, and that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. and they knew that and they knew not that Joseph understood them.
Yeah, their conversation, Joseph knew exactly what they were talking about because they was reminiscing about the past, about what they had did to Joseph and the things they had did. Now they feeling bad and guilty because it's coming back to backfire. Read.
For he spake unto them by an interpreter. And he turned himself about from them, and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they ladded their asses with the corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for, behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that Elohim have done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan.
Now
And
that one is not as Joseph. What it's talking about, that one is not as Joseph. Yeah.
and the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me, then shall I know that ye are no spies, but but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land.
Yeah, and two, I forgot to expound on that. Yeah, he gave him a bag of corn and put their money back with the corn. In other words, he didn't want their money. He just trying to feed them, and he gave them the corn and the money. Read.
And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks that, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack.
See, he feel it. He hid the money back in their bags with their corn because he didn't want the money. He just, looking out for his family.
And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid.
They was afraid because they want to know how this money get back in these bags, and I know I paid for this corn, so they scared to death. Read.
And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my two sons, if I bring him not to thee.
Give me my brother, and if I don't bring him back, you can kill both of my sons. That's the agreement he made with him. Read.
Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again.
I guarantee you I'm going to bring him back. Let me go with it.
And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
In other words, boy, I'm going to be a sick man and be ready to perish, boy, but I'll give you my son and you don't bring it back, boy. That's going to hurt my soul and my heart. I'm going to be miserable from now on. Read.
Genesis chapter 43, verse 1. And the famine was sore in the land.
Real bad in the land.
And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food.
Yeah, read.
And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
In other words, don't come back to Egypt without your brother, man. I done told y'all, don't come back here without your brother. Read.
If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you.
Don't come back to me. Don't come back to Egypt unless you got your brother, which was Benjamin, and that was his brother. But they didn't know. They didn't know Joseph. Read.
And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother?
Man, why y'all tell that man that y'all had another brother? Read.
And they said, The man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words.
In other words, they interrogated like the feds do. Get you in that room and interrogate you. Boy, Joseph interrogated his brother like the feds do when they get you. Read.
Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him.
Hey, boy, hey, give him to me, because I got him.
If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices, and myrrh, nuts, and almonds, and take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight.
And, yeah, they didn't see it, in other words, right.
Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man, and Elohim Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand.
That $100, they took $200, in other words. Yeah.
And Benjamin, and rose up, and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon.
These men gonna eat dinner, gonna eat supper with me, his brothers. Read.
And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men to Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house, and they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses.
Yeah, they were scared to death because they thought Joseph was gonna mention that money in that sack, but it wasn't even about that. Read.
And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack. our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand.
We brought the money back.
And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food.
You got more money.
We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you. Fear not. Your Elohim and the Elohim of your father have given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them.
In other words, the Almighty bless y'all now. People don't worry about that. I ain't worried about no money. The Almighty bless y'all with it. Read.
And the man brought the man to Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet.
That was a custom back then. They wash your feet.
And he gave their asses provender, and they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well? The old man of whom ye spake, is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health, he is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said,
But they had the same mama.
Is,
father. Read.
is this your younger brother of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, Elohim be gracious unto thee, my son.
And check out what he gonna do for Benjamin too. Watch this. Read.
And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought word to weep.
Start crying.
And he entered into his chamber and wept there. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, Set on bread.
Well, it's all right for a man to cry now. Yeah, don't be so macho, because this brother here was, he was strong, but he started crying because when he seen this brother, read on.
And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
See, that was an abomination for the Hebrews and the Egyptians to eat together. Read.
And they set before him the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messages unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs.
He gave Benjamin, his younger brother, he gave him 5 pieces of chicken and gave them 1 or 2. He didn't have, they played one as big as Benjamin. Read.
And they drank and were merry with him.
Right. Read.
And he, Genesis chapter 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth.
Do it again.
And put my cup, the silver cup, and the sack's mouth of the youngest, in his corn money.
He said, put his silver cup in Benjamin's sack. Now, watch what happened with this story. Read.
And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses, and they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off. Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when thou doest overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
In other words, one of y'all done stole my silver cup.
Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them and spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore said my Lord these words? Elohim forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we will be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless.
Yes, man, you got to be careful what you talk about, what you're saying. Now, this man that made a big mistake because he didn't have no idea that this silver cup was going to be in Benjamin's sack. Read.
Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack, and he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
Ooh, boy, he got sick. He got sick after that. Read.
Then they rent their clothes, and ladded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And Judah said, what shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? Elohim hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, Elohim forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant.
Mm-mm.
And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father.
Okay, in other words, you get on out of here, man. I found the cup in Benjamin's sack, so he gonna be the one gonna stay with me and serve me. You get on back to home to your dad and them. Read.
Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thy anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servants, saying, have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou saidst unto thy servants, bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. And thou saidst unto thy servants, except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more.
Mm.
And it came to pass, when we came up unto thy servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, go again and buy us a little food. And we said, we cannot go down. If our youngest brother be with us, then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. And thy servant my father said unto us, ye know that my wife bare me two sons. The one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die.
That's right. He gonna be. Ooh, he gonna be sick. Murray.
And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave. For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad a bondman to my lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me?
In other words, if I go back without his son, he gonna die. He gonna have a heart attack. He gonna be sick. Yeah, read.
Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father. Genesis chapter 45, verse 1. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, Cause every man to go out from me.
After he heard that story there, he heard Joseph heart. He started crying, boo-hooing. Read.
And there stood no man with him,
And he went by himself. Wasn't nobody in the room with him while he was crying.
while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren, and he wept aloud. And the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph.
He revealing himself now. Watch that. He revealing himself that he is Joseph.
Doeth my father yet live?
And boy, watch this.
And his brethren could not answer him,
Because they couldn't believe he was Joseph.
for they were troubled at his presence.
Boy, they didn't believe. Like they seen a ghost when he told them he was Joseph. Read.
And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near.
Come and give me a hug.
And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt.
Who you sold in the Egypt. Now pay attention to here, boy. This cold-blooded right here.
Now therefore be not grieved,
Don't be mad and angry, y'all.
nor angry with yourselves,
Don't be mad at yourself, boy. Joseph popping corn right here.
that ye sold me hither.
That you sold me to the Ishmaelites.
For Elohim did send me before you to preserve life.
See, this is the reason why this happened, because Yahweh was looking out for the 12 tribes of Israel, for the Hebrew people. If he had not came down to Egypt and went through what he went through, they would have died. So the Almighty say, for it to happen this way, see, let me finish reading.
Verse 6. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And Elohim sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth.
He sent me before the Egyptians so I can go down there and be the chief and handle the business to save y'all. Read.
And to save your lives by a great deliverance.
By a great deliverance.
So now it was not you that sent me hither.
It wasn't y'all that did this. It wasn't y'all that did this, read.
But Elohim.
Elohim done this. So things that happen in your life, the Almighty Yahweh, Elohim is doing this. So that's how you have to think about stuff, because you never know. The Almighty is always in the plan. He's always there. So, and Joseph knew this, and he told his brother, y'all don't be mad at me. Y'all did what y'all did, but this was from Yah. This was from Elohim. Read.
And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh.
He made him a father to Pharaoh.
And Lord of all his house.
And Lord of all his house.
And a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt.
I'm the chief. I'm the vice president. I'm the man. Read.
Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus said thy son Joseph, Elohim hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not.
This come from Elohim did this. Ain't nobody else did this but Elohim. He's giving all the glory and praise to him. Read.
And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen.
Now go get my dad and y'all come live in the land of Goshen, the best land around. Read.
And thou shalt be near unto me.
Gonna be right there with me.
Thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast.
In other words, we going to the suburb. We're gonna stay in the suburb. We ain't gonna stay in the ghetto in the hood. We're gonna live in the suburb. Read.
And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither.
Go back and tell my father I'm bad. I'm a bad man, boy. I got it all. I got it going on down here in Egypt, and thanks to Yahweh, I got it going on. Read.
And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and they pleased Pharaoh well and his servants.
He didn't get mad. Pharaoh said, "Boy, look, they do what you do, partner. You the one. I gave you the key to the city. So your brothers, your people wanted, hey, whatever you say, I gave you that. I gave you that the rank to run the show. I ain't mad at you. Read."
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto thy brethren, This do ye, let your beasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me.
And boy, Pharaoh saying, "Look, go get your daddy, and all y'all come back, and we're gonna live a happy life. Everybody gonna be all right." Read.
And I will give you the good of the land of Egypt.
I'm gonna give you the best of the land, the suburbs, not the good, not the hood and the ghetto. You ain't gonna stay there.
And ye shall eat the fat of the land.
Hey, you gonna be eating T-bone steaks. So long as you eat the best of the food, lamb chop.
Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come.
Take that Rolls Royce, that Maserati, that Bentley, and go get them people.
Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours.
Don't even worry about that. Leave all that junk there, cause boy, I got more better and great stuff for you.
And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment.
Ooh, wait, they always bless Benjamin more than all the rest of them.
And to his father he sent after this manner 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. And he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father. And he told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not.
He couldn't believe his son was still living.
And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
That's right, read.
Genesis chapter 46, verse 1. And Israel took his journey, with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Isaac. And Elohim spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am Elohim, the Elohim of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba. The sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, and the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had got in the land of the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
Okay, now let's just skip on down because this is gonna name all the tribes names and stuff. So go to 47:1.
Genesis chapter 47, verse 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, My father and my brethren, and their flocks and their herds, and all that they have, are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, What is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, Thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land are we come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee.
In other words, they can stay where they want to stay.
And the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell.
I want y'all to stay in the best of the land. I want y'all to stay in Hollywood. We live in Hollywood now. Read.
And the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any man of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, How old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years.
I'm 130 years old now.
Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been,
I ain't had no bad lifestyle. I had a good life.
and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage.
I was a pilgrim and a traveler.
And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, and the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren, and all his father's household with bread, according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Pharaoh and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph.
And the money gonna fail in the United States, just like it failed in Egypt, it's gonna fail here too. Read.
And Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land, buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh.
What verse is
19. And give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt, even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you. Ye shall sow the land, and it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the fifth part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen, and they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years.
Mhm.
So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, if now I have found grace in thy sight, I pray thee, thy hand under my. If I have now found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, swear unto me. And he swore unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. Genesis chapter.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Genesis 50. In other words, the Old Testament say you can swear, but the New Testament say you can't swear.
Genesis chapter 50, verse 1. And Joseph fell upon his father's face, and wept upon him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel.
That's when you ain't supposed to be cremated. You're supposed to be embalmed. The book say embalmed, not cremated. Read.
And 40 days were fulfilled for him. For so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed, and the Egyptians mourned for him 60 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die, and my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again.
Bury his father, that's right. He embalmed his father, not cremated.
And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father, according as he made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph, and his brethren, and his father's house. Only their little ones, and their flocks, and their herds, they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians, wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father, after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him.
No, he wasn't going to do that.
And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren and their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of the Elohim of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face, and they said, Behold, we be thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of Elohim?
Fear not, because I ain't Elohim.
But as for you, ye thought evil against me,
Y'all thought it was evil against me,
but Elohim meant it unto good,
but this was good.
to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive.
I went before the people say, y'all, that wasn't evil. You thought it was, but it wasn't evil. It was from Elohim. Read.
Now therefore fear ye not, I will nourish you.
Don't be mad. Don't be scared. Don't fear not, because I'm going to nourish you.
And your little ones. And he comforted them, and spake kindly unto them.
He wasn't mad at them for what they had did to him. Read.
And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house. And Joseph lived 110 years.
Now, Joseph was 110 years old when he died. Read.
And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Elohim will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you.
That's right.
And ye shall carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him.
That's right. They didn't cremate him, they bombed him.
And he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
Okay. Now, that was called the story of Joseph, and I wanted to point out some valid points in that story. You know how the Almighty deal with individuals, and that was a hell of a story there. Now I want to go to Ezekiel. Let me spawn on some of Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel. See what that says. Ezekiel 22, verse 22. Let me see. The 26.
Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law.
The priests have violated the law.
And have profaned my holy things.
And they always profane this holy thing.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
They ain't put no difference between the Sabbath, Sundays, and Saturday. They're the same in their eyes, read.
Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean.
They ain't show no difference between a pork chop and a beef steak.
And have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profane among them.
They act like they ain't got to keep the Sabbath. Hid it from for the Sabbath. Read.
Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravening the prey.
The TD Jason Klepto thought they like wolves.
To shed blood and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain.
That's the preacher now. He getting dishonest gain.
And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and dividing lies unto them.
That's right.
Saying, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, when Yahweh have not spoken.
When Almighty ain't said none to these people, but they spoke anyway.
The people of the land have used oppression.
The people of the land.
And exercised robbery.
And they robbery.
And have vexed the poor and needy.
And have got over on the poor and the needy.
Yea, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully.
And they do the stranger the same way.
And I sought for a man among them.
I sought for one man among them.
That should make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land.
See, that's what Joseph did. He stayed in the hedge of the man of the gap. This is talk to people like Joseph. He needed one man to fill in the gap. Now read that again.
And I sought for a man among them.
I looked for one man among them.
That should make up the hedge.
That should make up the hedge like Joseph did.
And stand in the gap before me for the land.
And stand in the gap before Yahweh before the land.
That I should not destroy it.
I ain't going to destroy it if I find this one man that's righteous. He destroyed Egypt because of Joseph. Read.
But I found none.
But he didn't find none at this time in Ezekiel. Read.
Therefore have I poured out my indignation upon them.
The anger. Indignation means he poured up his anger upon them.
I have consumed them with the fire of my wrath.
And he have consumed them. That's right. Destroyed them.
Their own way have I recompensed upon their heads.
Upon their heads.
Said Yahweh Elohim.
Said Yahweh Elohim. Okay. So I just wanted to get that point across. Okay. Well, let me look at the comments now because I'm through with that subject. Okay. Shalom, shalom, Miss Rob Love. Shalom, shalom, Rascal Flat. Shalom, shalom, JF Freezy. Shalom, shalom, Darius Baylock. Shalom, shalom, Eric Harley. And shalom, shalom, Yashar Elazar. Okay. Yeah. So I hope, everybody got something out of that lesson. So if anybody have any comments, a question about Joseph, what I just read. I'd like to hear him. Yes, Joseph loved his brother Benjamin. Yes, shalom, shalom, Eric out there. Eric Hart. Anybody have any questions or comments on the story of Joseph that I just read about? Well, I guess I get ready to close out. Have anyone heard from IK? No, sir, I haven't. And the reason why I haven't heard from him because he couldn't get that money. He couldn't answer them questions. So I guess he's embarrassed, you know, or he probably in his feelings about, about him getting down on me, and I exposed his butt. Yeah. Next week on Saturn TV, you know what that is? Saturn TV. This is Senator TV. You ever heard of that? Well, we ain't never heard. On next week on Senator TV, there will be a debate on the Old and the New Testament. Yeah, I would like to see that. Oh yeah, he like to play games. Yeah, yeah. But Hebrew, long as I was making videos before I started going live, he had something to say about every video I ever made. He got something negative to say. But now when I'm going live now, I can't hear from him. So he was throwing rocks behind his hand, talking behind your back, backstabber. Hey, bro, I would like to see that though. You say go to Senator TV, and there would be a debate. I like to check that out. That's right, because that Egypt was 430 years, wasn't 400. You're right, brother. Yeah, the 400 years and the 430 years ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Now, the 430 years went down in Egypt. Oh, he say the Zion Legs versus ICUPK. Well, I sure love to get in there. We got to find Senator TV though. Got to find that. I'd like to see that. I'll write that down. Write that. Let me see how to spell that. Spell that out for me. Write that. Instead. Yeah. Yes. No, this one. Right there. Is that an S?
Yes, SAN
E.
ETER.
Yeah. TV. Okay, what time does it come on? And what day? He said subscribe to that. No, I do that.
You have to go on the internet. I mean, you have to go on the internet and do it.
I guess he said subscribe to that. Subscribe.
Does it cost money? Because I don't want to have to pay money.
I pay the money. I don't worry about that. Okay, not sure yet. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about the money. I pay that. I always want to see something about Yahweh. They say go on YouTube. Okay, bro. Appreciate that information, bro. Hey, Eric, brother, when we gonna get together and have another session? Me, you, Ray, and Jerry. I can't find nobody to debate. He said you don't have to pay. Just go on YouTube. Eric said that you don't have to pay. Just go on YouTube and subscribe.
Okay, subscribe to a channel like your channel. That's what it means. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we got you, bro. Yeah, good. I got the information down. One is in any way that I can get in on that, Hebrew. Eric and the brother Yahoo, is in any way I can get in on that? Give me a phone number to call them guys, because I'd like to get in that myself. Get in on that. You see, yeah, when I go to, okay, bro. A lot of people to debate with. Okay. And you know how to do it, right? You think you know how to do it?
What?
Go, what they say, get on YouTube and subscribe and go to, because they say I can't debate a lot like that.
Usually go to YouTube channel, subscribe. Like people go to your channel, subscribe.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing.
Do the exact same thing.
Oh, okay.
I thought you meant like actual like a TV. I thought that's what he was talking about first, but I understand now.
Okay, he understand what's going on. Yeah, I'm ready to close out. Yeah, ready to close out. Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna get ready to close out because I'm gonna go try to find this TV thing on YouTube. Try to get with that today, and but I want to give all honor and glory and praise and worship to Yahweh by saying Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. And I love y'all, brothers and sisters out there. All right, shalom, shalom. Yeah, we'll go try to find.